Sandra Smith, and I am a dietetic intern at Lipscomb University. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about a couple ways that we can help your young athlete gain weight, but in a healthy way. So to do this, we're going to look at two different strategies. The first one is going to be making sure they're getting calorically dense foods throughout the day, and the second one we're going to talk about is meal frequency and meal timing. Alright, so the first macronutrient we're going to look at is protein. Now protein is vital not only to an athlete, but to someone who's looking to put on weight. This is because it helps with muscle repair as well as muscle synthesis. So athletes should aim to consume about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. This might seem like a lot, but you have to remember a couple of things. You have a growing child on your hands as well as an athlete, so their demands are increased when compared to a normal person. So how should they be hitting these goals? I always recommend a whole food approach. So these are going to be your meats, poultry, dairy products, and eggs. However, if your child is still having a hard time gaining weight, a protein powder supplement could be effective. But since they're so young, they should be okay with a whole foods approach. Alright, touching on protein powders a little bit. If you do decide that you want to give your child a protein powder supplement, I created a handout for you to refer back to. So for right now, I'm just going to highlight a couple key points and run through that real quick. So when buying a protein powder, you want to look at a couple different things. The first one is the macronutrient content, so the protein, the fats, and the carbs. The second one is the rate of digestion, and the third is the cost. So if you look at the handout, the first one I listed was a whey, concentrate, and isolate. Now this is probably what you think of when someone says protein powder. It's your most typical. It's a very fast digesting protein powder, so you're going to get that initial uptake. It's great for smoothies or post-workout, adding in throughout the day, and it's fairly inexpensive. Your second one is the casein. Now casein is a milk protein. So this one's slower digesting. I kind of like to compare it to an extended release medicine. Rather than getting it all at once, you're getting it over an extended period of time, usually about a couple hours. However, this one can be a little bit more costly. Your third is a protein blend. Now this is usually casein, whey, and egg, and it's kind of the best of both worlds. So you get that fast digesting protein as well as the slow digesting protein. And then lastly is a mass gainer. Now I only recommend a mass gainer if your child is severely struggling with putting on weight. This is because it contains a fat and a carb as well, so it's almost like adding in another meal. However, if you don't want to go the protein powder route, you can always achieve the same results by adding higher calorie foods to their smoothies, such as nut butters, olive oils, and honey. Kind of does the same thing, and you could use one of the previous protein powders that we talked about. Alright, so carbohydrates. This is our next macronutrient we're going to hit on. So this is your body's main source of energy. You want to make sure that 50 to 60% of their daily caloric intake are coming from carbs. So great carb choices are going to be your pastas, rice, breads, tortillas, and making sure they're whole wheat will help them hit their fiber goal for the day. However, fruits and vegetables are also a great carbohydrate choice, but they're usually not carbohydrate dense. So when you're wanting your child to put on weight, you want to select fruits and vegetables that are higher in carbs. So these are going to be your bananas, potatoes, mangoes, pineapples, squash, corn. Okay, now fat. Fat is our last macronutrient that we're going to talk about. It usually gets a bad reputation, however, it's vital to someone's health. It helps with brain health, heart health, and it's also been shown to help with muscle pain and inflammation. However, because of the bad reputation, there's a reason for it. It's because if you eat an excess amount, you can gain fat. So I recommend keeping their daily caloric intake about 30% fat. And sources of fat should come from nut butters, oils, fishes, cheeses, nuts, and avocados. Alright, so you're like, okay, Cassie, you're throwing all this information at me. Now, how do I go to a grocery store and figure out that this product is better than this product for my child? So I threw together a couple tips to try and help you with this. So the first one is fat. When you're looking at fat, you want to see a polyunsaturated fat and a monounsaturated fat. These are typically your good fats. And then also, like we talked about, a carbohydrate. 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates is a great range to look for. And then, like we also talked about, protein. Protein is very vital. So looking for products that have higher protein content than other products can help. So this is where I would recommend comparing two products. So this nutrition label, for example, is a higher protein oatmeal. So grab one brand of oatmeal and another, look at the two. This one will obviously be your choice because of the higher protein and the carb content. Alright, so some quick tricks to help add in calories. I recommend subbing water with whole milk at mealtimes. This is an easy way to spike up those calories. Secondly, condiments. These are great, and they help with your child not feeling excessively full. So they're adding calories, but they don't feel just like bogged down with all this food. So this might mean extra olive oil on their pasta, maybe some jam or jelly on their toast, or even barbecue sauce with their chicken. And then lastly, smoothies. This is my favorite recommendation because it's so versatile. You can throw in whatever fruits and vegetables your child likes, and this helps them meet their micronutrient goals. And then you can also throw in a protein powder as well. And like I said earlier, if they're having a really hard time, you can throw in nut butters, olive oil, or honey. All right, so meal frequency. This also plays a huge role in weight gain. You want to make sure that your child is getting a constant supply of energy throughout their day to meet their body's demands. So I recommend about 3 to 4 meals daily and 2 to 3 snacks in between these meals. Also, pre and post-workout meals are a huge component. You want to make sure pre-workout they have about 1 to 2 hours before they eat, and you want a carb and a protein source. This ensures that their body is getting the energy it needs to push through that workout or the competition. Post-workout or competition, same kind of concept. You want a protein and a carb. However, these are usually typically higher in calories because your body's demand for energy is increased after competition or a workout. And then breakfast and a meal before bed. These are great ways to add in some extra calories. Breakfast should never be skipped. This is missing out on an opportunity to increase their caloric intake for the day, as well as a snack before bed. All right, so in conclusion, your child should be gaining about 1 to 2 pounds per week. If they're gaining more than this might suggest that they're gaining fat rather than lean muscle, which is what we want to stray away from. Like we talked about, each macronutrient serves its own purpose, and they're all vital. So making sure that your child hits their macronutrient goals for the day is going to be very great when trying to put on weight. And then meal frequency and timing. These can very effectively increase their weight gain because they're getting that constant supply of energy through the day. Now I threw together a handout for you guys if you want to put it up on your fridge so that your child can see some tips if they might forget throughout the day and help them meet their goal. And I wish you guys the best of luck in helping your young athlete gain healthy weight.